Hello. If you're watching this, then one of a couple of things happened. One, you weren't able to attend fall school, but neither was I. So I've recorded my meetings that I would have presented at the workshops at the fall school, and I'm offering them this way. Two, you were at fall school, and plan A for us being able to interact together in live, in real time, didn't work out. So this is plan B. It might be plan C, D, or all the way down to Z. But that's life with technology. Being Girl Scouts, we try to be prepared and have a backup plan. And this is my backup plan. So welcome. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my PowerPoint by sharing the screen on my Zoom. And this session is called Using Tech to Save Time, Fall School 2020. And tech can take up an awful lot of our time, but if we use it appropriately, it can actually save us a couple of minutes here or there. Let me introduce myself. My name is Tracy Bruno. I am the Service Unit Manager for Service Unit 31. I am a troop leader for Troops 547, my cadets, and a multi-level troop that is done just virtually, 620. Actually, at this point, both of our troops are just done virtually. I am also the STEM coordinator for the Dover Roller Rink. I am a religious ed instructor for our local parish. I'm an online tutor. I'm a mom. I'm a college student and a middle school that I'm homeschooling this year. I'm a wife. We have a dog. Yeah, life is busy. So wherever I can find a way to save some time so I can relax a minute, I have it scheduled on my calendar for about a month from now to have 5 minutes. But like you, life is busy. There's a lot of things going on. And any kind of tool that I can use to help organize and not forget things that I said I would do is very helpful. What I love most about this crazy life is the adventure of it by Juliette Binoche. I could definitely complain that my life is super busy, but my life is super busy because I, in many ways, have chosen that. I want to be involved with my children. I want to do things with my husband. I want to be involved with my friends and do things. And when you want to do so many things, it takes up a time commitment. And being out there and being willing to participate in all these different things just makes my life richer. It has experiences that I wouldn't normally have had, opportunities for my children that I wouldn't have thought of by engaging with scouting and other people. And it's fun. At the end of the day, when we look back on it and say, wow, I survived another crazy week, you can laugh about it and feel better and good about it. But it does, as I said, require organization. And I have tried tons of organization. Post-its. For a while there, I was the Post-it queen. You come into my office, I'd have Post-its everywhere. It'd be across my desk, it'd be along the wall. I had them color-coded, and I thought it was a great system. When it was done, it was very satisfying to take it, roll up, toss it into the trash. But Post-its can fall, things can get missing. Ultimately, your place looks chaotic, which isn't a soothing place to work. And I continue to look for other ways. Also, you can only be reminded of the activity if you're actually where the Post-it is. If I left my office, there was no way of remembering unless it was actually in my head. I tried binders. I'd have binders for the troops, for the finances. I'd have binders for the kids, my son's activities, for my daughter's activities, so that I remember who needs what and what fundraisers going on here. But again, it gets outdated. You have to keep it up, and you're constantly printing. Not a great way to use your resources. It has to be with you in order to actually be effective. And when you have reached a certain point, you have way too many binders, and now it's just like the Post-its, it's just not working. I've tried the file system. Now, I still use filing for many things, but if it's something that you're actively doing that's constantly changing, it's just not effective. And the number of calendars that I have gone through, sometimes in 1 year, because I want a calendar in my purse. I want a calendar on the wall. I need a calendar that I share with the family. I need a calendar that has squares that are big enough so that it can fit all of the activities in it. All of these things worked for a while, and I outgrew them and moved on to other things. There is no perfect option out there that works for everybody. You have to find what works for you. And there are so many choices out there that it's easy to get caught up in just trying every new thing instead of really sticking with one thing that's working even part way. Find something that works, work through it, learn how it goes, and you'll find that in the end, you'll be saving a lot more time than constantly reinventing the wheel. Google. I know it's a little fuzzy, but I thought that this was hysterical. Me and Google are so close that we finish each other's sentences. What did we ever do before Google? When my children have to do a research paper or I need to look up something, I don't have to wait for the library to open up the next day and go in and go through the card catalog and then go find the book and then find the page that it's on, only to find out it wasn't the right resource and I have to go try the whole thing again. I can Google and get information instantaneously. If I want to find out what time Walmart is closing tonight, I type it in and it lets me know. So using the Google resource is a fantastic way of saving time. And it offers an abundance of free tools for your organization. I'm not being paid by Google. I just find that their tools, it's amazing that they have as much as they do that's free. So let's look at some of them. Gmail. It's an email. It's a free email. Great for setting up a troop email. If everything comes to your one home email, it can sometimes be overwhelming when you have all this information coming in. You have your bills coming in. You have your family information coming in. This is free and it helps keep Girl Scout information separate from your personal. It's then easier to find those messages from your service unit manager or from council if it's all coming into the one place. You can also save all of your important files onto the Google Drive. If you have a Gmail account, you automatically have a Google Drive. It is free. It has, I think, about 15 gigs that you can save, 15 megabytes gigs. A decent amount of storage that you can save your documents on. Things that you use over and over again. Save up there, your rosters, those kind of things. Also, things that you want to be able to access from anywhere. Problem with a file is you need to carry it with you, just like the binders and the Post-its. If it's not with you, what good is it? Having things saved on the Google Drive are easily accessible from wherever you are because you can do it even from your smartphone. Contacts. I know we have our virtual toolkit, and we're going to be talking about some of those tools in a bit. But having your contacts list in your Gmail is also a great idea. I have them sorted by parents, by council people, by other leaders, so I can reach out at any point when I need to. I can group them so it's easy enough to send out an email. If I need an address, it's right there. I can click on it. It'll come up into my Google Maps and give me the directions. So using the contacts for your troop is a great way of saving some time. There's a calendar on there. You can automatically save things to your calendar when they come into your email. It is also something that you can then share with your families. So if you're putting up your troop events, if you're putting up due dates, you can put all of that on the calendar and share the calendar with your families. Google and Gmail are also affiliated with YouTube. So you can put up videos that your troop has made. You can put up training videos, or with all the virtual products that are out there, you can put in links to other YouTube channels. You can subscribe to them so they can see about a video of a zoo that's happening in Washington State. All sorts of things that are out there. And those videos can then be accessible through a link to the girls at any time. They don't have to come to the meeting to see it. They can access them from home. Photos. Google also has a Google Photos where you can store and organize all of your troop memories. I don't know what I would do without all of my troop memories. I go through them every year and just marvel at how much the girls have grown. So I find them valuable and can't imagine life without them. And here's a great way that you can share them and use them for different projects that you're doing. So if you're at a meeting and the girls want to take a picture of something they did at the camping trip last week, you can access it, bring it in, they can copy it, they can paste it, and they can put it into their documents. Google provides word processing, spreadsheets, and its own a PowerPoint type slide program. They are all compatible with Office. They are all free. They might not have as many of the bells and whistles, but for the projects that you'd be doing with the girls, they are at least a great starting point, and they're very powerful. There's a lot that you can do with them. You can make flyers, you can share information, the girls can work on them collaboratively. So it's really a great resource. Maps. One of the things that you can do with the Google Maps is you can actually create your own route. So if you're working on a hiking trip, you can do that. If you want to visit certain historic points in a town, you can set up that walking trail and you girls can go ahead and do that. If you're learning about Egypt, you can actually Google up Pyramid of Giza and zoom in and see it. And often they'll let you do this little feature where you're seeing it from the ground view as if you were on the street. And it's amazing some of the views that you can see from there. And of course, there's Google Sites. You can create your own website to share with your troop. The one thing though is that with the websites, I find it harder to keep it secure than with some other features that Google has. So be careful about putting pictures up on the website and sharing information on the website. Using your communication tools not only are effective and time-saving for getting information out, but they are also a great backup for when someone says, "You never told me." Volunteer Toolkit, Gmail, and of course your personal email account are all ways to send out email notifications. Save those emails in a folder, and then when someone says, "I never got the message," you can pull it back up and send it to them. One thing that I'll often do is bring up the email where I actually sent it to them the first time and just forward it to them again. That way they're seeing the information where I sent it the first time, and it stops the, "Oh, you never told me," because they see that they must have missed the email. It was sent on that date. Now, Volunteer Toolkit has the advantage of your troop already being preloaded into it. From Volunteer Toolkit, you can go ahead and email the whole group. You can also email individuals. What I find you cannot do is email smaller groups. You either email the whole group or you can email an individual here or there, but you can't preset groups. So let's say you have girls that are working on a bronze award. There's no way to just group together the bronze award group and just send it all together at once easily. You can do it, but it's not as easy. Gmail, on the other hand, lets you group them in different ways. So you could have bronze award group, put them all in there. When you go to do your email, you say bronze award in the two, they all come up. Nice and easy. Your personal email works the same way. So, but with both Gmail and personal email, you need to preload all of those email addresses into your contacts somewhere. So there's your give and take there. The other thing I would recommend is when you are sending emails out, send them as a blind carbon copy for the most part. A lot of organizations require that. It is a safety feature so that you're not sharing emails without permission. Now, if you all have permission, everyone in your troop is good with sharing, then that's fine. Another way of communicating is through text. Now, one of the problems with text messages is, in addition to sometimes it's hard, at least on my phone, to set up the group, I have to put in everybody individually and then hope that I can find that stream later on. And if not, I might actually send it to the wrong stream. That's a problem there too. And then if I'm asking for feedback, like, "Hey, let me know when you have completed the form for fall product permission," and then they're all sending me back, "Hey, did it. Well, I'm getting that message. You're getting that message. They're getting the message. Everyone's getting the message for all that did it. And your phone's going, bzzz, and it's really distracting. So I do still use the text groups for certain things. When we're on a trip, I will do the text group to share pictures to the parents, to let them know arrival times, to share information that way. Something that's shared, that way if they have questions and they need to communicate with each other, "Hey, I'm running late. Can you be there and make certain that, Janice gets off the trip all right, and then can you give her a ride home?" They have each other's contact that way. It works. The Remind app is a free program that you can use, and when you send out information, they can respond back to you. So you can get that information without it going out to everyone. I send it out, it goes out to all 10 of you. You reply, it just comes to me. The others don't see your reply. Gives you a little bit of privacy, and it stops that chatter that can go with messages, especially when you're just checking to make certain that people have done things. So the Remind app is available. As I said, it is free. Now, there are some other text communications out there. I was just hearing about some new groups that there's Snapchat, there's all those kind of things that are out there. And there's this other one that I have to look into. I don't remember the name now. But it's something that you basically set up a channel and you can share. So there's lots of different ways to communicate with the text. It is the way that most people are communicating these days. They're not picking up the phone and calling. You're not doing phone trees and making calls that way anymore. It's usually just sending out the text, and finding a way to get the message out without it being too confusing is very helpful. There is the old-fashioned phone, and sometimes it is the best way to communicate with someone. If I get a text that says something like, oh, Cammie can't come to the meeting tonight because, we had a lot of family drama. I'll touch base with you later. I'm not going to wait for them to touch base with me. I'm going to call them up and say, hey, is everything okay? Do you need any support? What can I do for you? It's the best way to have that going on. If someone owes me cookie money, I'm not going to just settle for a text. I will do a text. I will do an email. I will then call them up and say, hey, Colleen, what's up? Yeah, did you realize that we had a deadline for the cookie money? I really needed it Friday. Can you bring it to me today? I'm home. Yes, I'll see you then. Communication. It's harder for people to say no when you're talking to them directly. It's also the best way to ask for assistance. If you need someone to be your cookie mom, call up the one person that you think would really be good at it. Call them up and say, hey, Esther, I really need help with the cookie program this year, and you are so good with the computer skills, and you'd really, really be helpful. I can't tell you how great it would be if you would help out with the cookie sales. I'll be there to support you, but would you be my cookie mom this year? You are more likely to get a yes if you're having that conversation on the phone or you're expecting an answer than if you're sending out an email or a mass email saying, hey, I'm looking for someone to help me. Save your time. Use your tech effectively, get your message across effectively, and get the answers that you want more quickly. Planning calendar. It pays to plan ahead. Typically, our troop will plan their badge activities in May because that would give us the summer to find things to support those badges that they want to do. If they're doing the flowers badge, you can contact Longwood Gardens and see about a program that they might have there to help the girls earn those badges in a more meaningful way than I could, because I don't know that much about flowers. So they can really get a good learning experience. Volunteer Toolkit is a wonderful tool for that. One of my favorite things about it is that all the badges and their requirements are there, and we don't have to go and buy them. We don't have to go Googling them to see what the requirements are and how to do them. They are all accessible for us. Do keep in mind those are guidelines. You don't have to use them as they are written. You can modify them for your troop, for your girls' interests, as long as you are meeting the general intent of the requirement. Volunteer Toolkit, though, I do find a little bit cumbersome, especially when I need to change dates. Have to click in too many places and trying to move it up, and then it moves everything else in a way I don't want it to move. It's a good tool. It needs some more work, but using it as the only tool for me right now isn't the best way. I get my information from there, and then I need to put that information somewhere else. So I really rely on a digital calendar. For the most part, it's the one that's in my phone, but I also like to use the calendar that's on Facebook. I can go in there, I can put in the events, I can put in what's required for the events. Folks can respond, so I know who's going to be showing up to them. Even our regular meetings, I put those up on there. Parents can go and check the Facebook calendar. Facebook events at any time. So if they need a reminder, if they need to know what the link is, it's there. All the information is there. Saves me time from answering 15 phone calls the day of a meeting. Or wait, do we have a meeting tonight? What time is the meeting? Do you have the link for the meeting? What are we supposed to be doing tonight? They can go and check on that themselves on Facebook once I have it up there. The other digital calendars such as Google, iCal, Outlook, all of those, many of them work together with Facebook, and they all have similar features where you can share things out. You can send an invite to everyone who's going to come to your meeting and say, hey, here's the link, here's the information, and it will put it on their calendars and hopefully remind them as well. Plan ahead. Even if you don't get everything done that's on your planning calendar, and that happens to us almost every year, it gives you something of a guide so you know how the year is going to go. And if you have planned for October, November, then you're also not rushing around at the last minute trying to figure out what you're going to do for your meeting tonight. Having the girls do the planning lets me know that it's what the girls want to do, so they're going to be more engaged in attending the meetings. And this year, having the girls actually lead the meetings, the planning calendar lets them know when they need to be ready to prepare, and lets everyone else know who's leading the meeting so they can be there to support their sisters. So planning calendars, digital calendars are invaluable. And really, if you have not been into your volunteer toolkit, you really want to go in there. Instead, it has your group information, all the contact information, and it has all the badge information for all the levels, and they're adding new features all the time. If you don't schedule it, you probably won't do it. If it's not on my calendar, and it doesn't send me a reminder 15 minutes before, I'm not going to remember. Our lives are busy, especially now that our kids are home doing a lot of remote learning, and so much more has to do with remembering passwords and what time you need to be at the computer and that you need to be here and trying to schedule everything. Try and keep your calendar straight, and the rest of your life may fall into place as well. Here is a quick look at the volunteer toolkit and some of the things that you can have put in. You can put the dates and the times and all those. If you do want to do 2 different badges at the same meeting, I find just setting the start time a little bit differently, maybe 6 o'clock and then 6:30, let you put them both in and you can have the same date. That's something that's worked for me. There's also a way to merge meetings so that it comes together, but I find that a little bit more complicated than just changing the time. And then here's a sample of my calendar. Yes, that is a typical week for me. I color code them too. That also helps me know whether it's something for me or something for my daughter or something for my husband. And it just helps organize things a little bit better. And then this is my Facebook, where I have all of the events put in here, and it will automatically come up with reminders as it gets closer to each of those events. So these are my troop meetings that I have in. I even put in when there's no meeting. Again, I want to save myself time. If I have in it that there's no meeting, I'm not going to get all those calls going, hey, is there a meeting tonight? Are we having a meeting tonight? What time's the meeting tonight? And I have to keep saying that there's no meeting. So we're looking to use tech to save time, put it in. The responsibility is then on the others in order to stay informed. Get the word out. When you have information that needs to be shared, whether it is a troop meeting or a fundraiser or a party that's coming up, you want to make certain that you get it out to everybody. Beginning of the year information, reminders. And keep in mind that other people have their own organization systems. Facebook works really well for me. Not everybody is on Facebook. So when I send out things, I send them out in 3 ways. There's an email, there's my Remind app with a text message, and then I put it up on Facebook. Yes, it takes me a little bit more time when I'm sending out to send them out the 3 ways. But again, it saves me time from people saying that they didn't get the message. Some of them are getting it 3 different ways. No one can say that they didn't get it. So I have done my job. I have responsibly shared the information. I have a record that the information has been shared if it comes back later. And if someone says that they didn't know, I can point to the communication and the date and show them that I did send it. I'm sorry you didn't receive it. Tip: include all who need to know when you're doing your communications. If you have a team going on, let's say it's a cookie booth team, and you have family A and family B, send out the same text message to both of them rather than sending out separate. This way, everyone has the same information and won't be asking you questions later. It also helps reduce misinformation. Well, Miss Tracy told me this. Oh, really? Well, she told me this. Oh, no, I told you both this because here's the email and here's the text that has it said. It also keeps things honest and fair. Everyone knows what the issues are, what the projects are, what needs to be done, and no one is having an unfair advantage or feel that they're being talked about behind their backs because you're keeping everyone informed and you're keeping it all professional. Don't reinvent the wheel. We're all so busy doing things like, oh, no, I can't possibly do anything on Facebook because my life is too busy already. But Facebook can be a really time-saving tool. Being able to put the messages out, having families be able to contact you easily, it can help a lot. And the same thing goes with some of these other tools. So use your resources wisely. Volunteer toolkit, go there, see what the badge requirements are, rather than going all over seeing if you can borrow someone's printout that they've had from the previous years, or paying money out to buy a new one. It's there, use it. Use the girl and parent skills. You don't have to be the one who's doing all the meetings or planning all the events or doing all the Girl Scouting. Your girls and your parents have skills that they can use to help out with the troop. Ask them directly. Just don't ask for a general volunteer or you're going to hear crickets. But ask them for specifically what you need, and chances are they're more than willing to help. They just need to know what it is that they need to do. Community opportunities. Reach out to your community. There are so many different businesses out there who are willing to work with Girl Scouts. We had a Daisy Troop who was working on their computer technology badge, and we reached out to the local community for them to show them the inside of a computer. This company went above and beyond, having all these older computers that they couldn't fix anymore. They were beyond. They had the tools. The girls were able to sit there and take apart the inside of the computer and see all the different parts that are involved and how they connect. And they came out of that with a much more meaningful experience than anything I could have ever dreamed of presenting them. And it cost us nothing. The company was happy to do it. They got their name out there for doing a good deed. They were happy to work with the girls and show them what they do. The girls were thrilled. They walk by that company and they go, that's the place where we got to take the computers apart. It was a win-win for everybody. Local vets will do the same thing. We, of course, visit your police station, your fire departments, your local restaurants. There are so many people in your community who are willing to help. Just ask them and let them know what you need. And 99% of the time, they will say yes, and they will do it for free. Council opportunities. There are tons of opportunities out there for your girls, and not just GSCB. If you can find an opportunity that's being presented in Florida and it's being done virtually, sign up for it. We went down to Savannah, Georgia. Planning a trip like that can really be taxing. But we went down and we participated in a council event they have there called Quest Fest. I had to plan how to get there. I had to plan where we were going to sleep. And I had to plan where we were going to have our meals. Quest Fest took care of everything else while we were there. And we got to see more of Savannah and learn more about Girl Scouts than anything I could have thought of putting together on my own. It was fun. It was engaging. The girls got to meet other people. And it was planned for me. It saved me a whole lot of time. And again, I used my tech. I Googled. I found this opportunity. We signed up for it. It was a fantastic opportunity. Pinterest and other sharing sites, tons of ideas. See what other people are doing. Some people out there are brilliant. I am amazed at their creativity and the things that they come up with and how they're able to put it together. And while I might not be able to replicate it exactly, at least I can come close and I don't have to do it from scratch. It's already been planned. Facebook and other social media, they work along the same ways as Pinterest. And Google. Try doing a Google for Girl Scout Day. Find things that are available through your museums, the sports arenas, all sorts of places that do projects for Girl Scout Day. I know Philadelphia probably has it coming up soon. They haven't done it already, but with the whole Liberty Center there, they do a Girl Scout Day, and it's supposed to be an amazing experience. Keeping track of girl progress. This is something that I really wish Girl Scouts would build in better, especially with Volunteer Toolkit. It seems like it has the capability, but it's not really there. I like to keep track of what the girls have done, both for my sake, so we're not repeating badges and doing work that they've already earned, but also for them, so they can, at the end of the year, everyone's tired. What did you do in Girl Scouts? Oh, we didn't do much this year. And then I bring out the list and look, oh, look, we did this and we earned this. And then we were on this trip and we did that. And we did this over here. It's a good review, a refresher of what they've done. Volunteer Toolkit will do it to a degree. When you have your meetings up there, you can do the attendance and it will show you which girls have finished the requirements if you plug it in and you do so. And it will keep it for the year. But it doesn't really have a cumulative type effect. You can create your own with spreadsheets. Sometimes that's the best way to do things, especially when we're doing things for like trips, who's turned in paperwork and such like that. I'll usually set up a spreadsheet so I can just tick it off once I have what I need. This other program is called Girl Scout Tracks, and I've included the link here. This person offers this for free. It's an amazing spreadsheet that she puts together that links back and forth. She keeps it updated each year with the new badges. You can keep track of your dues. Contact information can be kept in there. There's a sheet for each girl, and you can then print that out or just email it to the parents at the end of the year, showing their progress that they've made through journeys, badges, service projects, even council events and extra things that you've done, like a holiday party. You can keep track of all of that in this Tracks program. I definitely recommend that you download. They have one for each level. But take a look at it and see if it's something that works with your organization system. It's been a wonderful tool that I've used since the Girls for Daisies. Organizing girl and parent involvement. Facebook, I keep going back to that because it has a lot of powerful tools. You can send out invites for events. They can respond. You know who's coming. You can do polls. Hey, we have a choice of doing this trip, or this trip. Tell me which one you'd like to do. Get your girl to tell you which one you want to do, and we'll put a vote. Makes it a lot easier than trying to get responses in other ways. So a lot of that, putting up questions and answers, putting up reminders. Hey, I just sent you all a really long email. Please go read it. Look for it in your emails. Sometimes I'll even just do a Facebook like that because there's been so much information sent. So it's a great way to get the girls to respond back and forth, make sure they're reading the materials and that they're being involved. There are other online volunteer organizers out there, signup.com, SignUpGenius, etc. They're great for if you're having a party. You want everyone to bring something. Here you go. Here's what we need. Please volunteer and sign up for the thing you want to bring. Make Christmas parties very easy. End of the year parties, piece of cake. I use it for my cookie booths. So I put up the dates and the places that we have available, and I let the parents choose which cookie booths they want to sign up for. Then I can go back and look after a couple of days and say, hey, we still need someone for this spot. Saturday's completely full, but I have some available on Sunday. Saves me time, and it's there. It's easy to change if I need to change it. I can print it out as I need it for the day. I can send it directly, and it sends reminders. So those who signed up for a cookie booth on Saturday at 6 o'clock in the morning, they're going to get the reminder without me having to remember to send the reminder. A great time-saving tool. And then, as I mentioned before, be specific with the help you need. Ask them directly. Mrs. Jones, will you please take the attendance at this meeting so I can start with the girls right away? Mrs. Jones will say, sure, and she'll take the attendance for you. If you say, can I please have a volunteer to take the attendance? You're going to hear those crickets again. Then you're going to want to ask someone directly anyway. So go ahead and just ask them directly from the beginning. They'll appreciate it. I know I appreciate it when someone asks me specifically to do a thing instead of just general, anyone will. Because then I want to volunteering anyway. And this way, there's always the chance someone else will get volunteer. So Ask them directly. That is my presentation on using tech to save time. There's other tools out there too. If you have something that works for you, please share it and let us all know. The only way for us to improve is to share the information that we get. If you have any questions, please contact me, and there is my email address, gscbsu31@gmail.com. I do check it fairly regularly, so please let me know how I can help you, and I'll be happy to do so. Or if you just want to share ideas, that would be fabulous as well. Stay safe, stay well, live the Girl Scout law, and hopefully I'll see you at next year's Fall School.